Hi, my name is Erica. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Hope you guys like my previous videos, and this is the second part of why we want things we can't have. Have you ever wondered why? Before I begin, make sure subscribe to this channel. And don't forget to like, share, and comment. Why we chase dreams that will never come true. Why do we suffer for love or pine for an impossible reality? Why do we desire what we can't have? We live in a world where it seems like we can have anything we want. We can buy almost anything with a few clicks of a mouse and have it delivered to our doorstep within a matter of days. Yet there are some things that we just can't have. Whether it be a person, a job, a home, or a dream. And it's these unattainable things that we often find ourselves wanting the most. So why is it that we desire what we can't have? The first reason, and a logic, is that what we can't have seems more valuable to us. When something is rare or hard to get, we tend to put a higher value on it. This is called the law of supply and demand. A dark logic you have to understand is that if something is in high demand but low supply, then its value will be high. Conversely, if something is in low demand but high supply, then its value will be low. For example, diamonds are rare and hard to get, so we value them highly. However, this doesn't mean that diamonds are actually more valuable than, say, water. But because water is in high supply and low demand, we don't value it as highly as diamonds. In the same way, when we desire something that is rare and hard to get, such as a certain person or a dream job, we tend to put a higher value on that thing. We may even convince ourselves that it's worth more than other things that are easier to get, simply because it's rarer and more challenging to obtain. This is why people are often willing to pay more for luxury goods that are made by hand or have limited edition status. They're not just paying for the actual cost of the goods, but also for the rarity and exclusivity of it all. Similarly, when we desire someone who is unattainable, we may start to build them up in our minds as being more valuable than someone who is more attainable. A logic is that we may convince ourselves that this person is perfect for us simply because they're out of our league. In reality, this person may not even be interested in us, but we can't see past our own infatuation. We see this all the time in romantic relationships where one person is head over heels in love with someone who does unfeel the same way about them. Often the person who has the upper hand in this scenario is the one who ends up getting hurt the worst. The person who is in love with someone who does unlove them back usually has to deal with a broken heart when the relationship inevitably falls apart. This is because they had built up this person in their minds as being more valuable than anyone else, when in reality they were never truly attainable. The second reason is that we're more motivated to achieve something if it's difficult. When something is easy to do, we tend to not put in much effort, but when something is hard to do, we tend to be more motivated to succeed. This is called the Yerkes-Dodson law, which states that humans experience peak motivation when working on tasks that are right on the edge of our current abilities. Not too hard, not too easy. Just right. For example, if you're trying to lose weight, it is going to be more motivating for you to set a goal of losing 10 pounds in 10 weeks than it is to set a goal of losing 1 pound in 10 weeks. Even though both goals are the same thing, your brain will perceive the first goal as being more difficult and therefore more motivating. That's why we often find ourselves drawn to activities that are challenging, like playing hard mode on a video game or dating someone who is out of our league. It's not that we're masochistic or enjoy suffering, but rather that we're more motivated to achieve something that is difficult. We want to prove to ourselves that we can do it. We want to show the world that we're capable of achieving great things. This is why many people are attracted to high-risk activities like skydiving or rock climbing. It's not because they want to get hurt, but because they want to challenge themselves and push their limits. They want to experience the thrill of the unknown and the satisfaction that comes from overcoming obstacles. The third reason is that what we can't have makes us feel alive. When we're pursuing something that is difficult and challenging, we feel more alive. We feel more passionate, more enthusiastic, and more engaged in life. This is because we're no longer focused on the mundane and boring aspects of life. We're focused on something that is exciting and full of potential. This is called the Zeigarnik effect. which states that humans will remember unfinished tasks better than completed ones because they create tension and anxiety until they refinished. For example, you're more likely to remember the plot of a movie that you have unseen yet than the plot of a movie that you saw 10 years ago. This is because the movie that you haven't seen yet creates tension and curiosity in your mind. You want to know what happens next? What is the resolution? How does it all end? On the other hand, the movie that you saw 10 years ago didn't create the same level of tension and curiosity in your mind. You already know how it ends, so there's no need for your brain to keep that movie in its memory bank. In the same way, when we pursue something that is difficult and challenging, we feel more alive because it creates tension and anxiety in our minds. We want to know if we can do it. We want to know if we can achieve our goal. This sense of excitement and anticipation makes life feel more meaningful and fulfilling. This is why people who are in love often feel like they're living the best years of their lives. Even if objectively nothing has really changed, it's because they're pursuing something that is difficult and challenging. The person they love. They feel excited and anxious about what the future may hold. Will they get rejected? Will the relationship work out in the long run? These thoughts occupy their minds, making every moment feel more intense and more meaningful. In conclusion, we often find ourselves wanting what we can't have because it seems more valuable to us. Because it makes us more motivated to achieve something. And because it makes us feel more alive. While it's important to be ambitious and to strive for excellence, it's also important to be realistic and to accept that we can't have everything we want. Sometimes we have to learn to let go of what we can't control and focus on what we can. So the next time you find yourself pining for something that is unattainable, ask yourself why you want it so badly. Is it really worth the pain and suffering that it's causing you? Or is it just something that you've convinced yourself is valuable when in reality it's not? If you liked this video, subscribe for more content and leave a comment down below with your thoughts, experiences, or suggestions. Don't forget to hit the like button as well. Thanks for watching! See you next time!